Hello and welcome to Throwdown. I am your host, Emilio Lopez, and I am joined by Carlos Romero, Brett Murdoch, Brian Manjoma. Oh wait, am I coming through? Or are you guys coming through? Oh fuck, I got it. We're muted. All right, let's do that again. All right, we're doing it again. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Hello and welcome to Throwdown. I am your host, Emilio Lopez, and I am joined by Carlos Romero. Am I still?
Yo,
is
yo,
everybody?
yo, what's going on, everyone?
All right, everybody's still good. Brett Murdoch,
What's up, people?
Brian Manjoma,
Good evening, people.
and Adam Vale.
This is my pre-recorded answer. Hello.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm still. It's been. I mean, granted, I did host a few while ago, but it's been close to 10 years since I've done full-time duty as a host of the Throwdown. So I still, I was just thinking to myself when I was doing the show notes, I was just like, man, I write them literally the way I used to, like 10 years ago when I was hosting the show. Like, was it not 10 years? Like, maybe it was like 20. I can't. Well, maybe not 10 years ago. Like, it was
2015.
yeah, 2015. Still write them exactly. Still write them exactly the same way I did them when when Rachel was producing and I was hosting. We do like we'd write like little sort of like the topics, and then we put little jokes and things between them. Still the same way. It was a little nostalgic, sort of doing the notes for this episode. So yeah, you may right. You may notice that there are some folks missing. Yeah. Tony.
Kicked him out.
Yeah, well, we can't kick out Tony. But anyway, yeah, Tony,
Hey,
right?
No call, no show. You know the rules.
Well, Tony is actually thinking about his mental health right now, and he went to watch some Viking death metal at the band Amon Amarth, who's playing in New York. He actually forgot that they were going to be playing. He's gonna go see them. He thought it was gonna be Friday, but then he realized it was Thursday. So he's out there banging his head. So yeah. And Chris, he had an operation pretty recently, so he's gonna be out for quite a while. I think you might see him until next year, because he went through some serious stuff. So we wish him all the best, and here's the thing: he may not be on the show, but he's still, we still text him, and he's still in the background. So, maybe when the
we
rage
don't cut him off, and it's like, well, he's gone. Let's delete from the phone.
exactly. When the rage flows through him, or Nintendo does something incredibly stupid, there might be like a rogue like Chris Seeley thing, hot take that just shows up out of nowhere.
Well, no, here's the thing. We were going to let him go from the show, but the truth is that he's getting his cyborg augmentation, and when the Rise of Machines comes up, we want to be on the right side, so he's allowed to come back whenever he wants.
Yeah.
He's getting his robot spine right now.
Yeah,
I was about to say, isn't the Elon Musk Neuralink thing going on right now? So,
like
test subject number 0.
Yeah, but like you can attach to the internet. Like Chris is gonna have a full-on robot spine. Like, maybe he'll throw covers and shit.
The one thing about like doing like cybernetics and robot stuff is that screws with me is I can't deal with the fact that I have to go in for service. Literally, you paid all this money to get this cybernetic put in you. That's the thing that they don't talk about in Cyberpunk. Like, everybody's got all this fancy glowing shit all over them and like things in their heads. And it's like, yo, what if the firmware breaks? And then your head, your like friggin' arm is just like losing its shit, or like your like memory dance unit is just malfunctioning because you couldn't afford to do the firmware update. I mean, that's kind of what David Martinez in Cyberpunk is sort of going through, right?
Yeah, but I mean, being closing in on 40, I'm having to go in for maintenance either way.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's get things started. To this episode is what I call the calm before the storm. Next week is the Game Awards, so everybody's gotten all the things. If you're looking at Twitter, you're seeing like people doing little secret little, little like in the DL, sort of changing each other's logos. I think Naughty Dog switched their logo to this weird crystal version of their logo. Kojima's like a new beginning, and then he's showing off like he's doing what do they call it? Motion capture out in LA. And taking photos with Guillermo del Toro, his buddy, and all that stuff. So there's stuff happening in the wings. It's just about when these things are going to drop. But we don't have that right now. But we have what is currently happening. So right now, you probably, most of you are probably playing like Callisto Protocol right now. Because that thing is going to be dropping like, I don't know, in a few minutes, right?
Minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be dropping really soon. So
that's right. I should get that.
Yeah, right. So, right now, what's happening with them is that apparently Sony loaned them about 150 employees to work on the game. So, it's
See, I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing.
Here's the thing. I think when it comes for those who don't know, there are some exclusives that are going to be happening with Callisto Protocol for PlayStation exclusives. So my guess is that a part of that exclusive deal, it maybe allowed them to be like, all right, maybe we can use your testing company. At least in the article that we have listed here, that they tend to at least Sony has a bunch of different divisions. Like they have the motion capture division, which does motion capture for a bunch of companies besides just PlayStation exclusive games. So, at least my guess is that the reason why they're just like, all right, we need some additional assistance here, get this stuff together. But it's still
maybe they had issues.
Yeah, it's still a multi-platform game.
Yeah. I remember when because it's the same team. I remember when Dead Space launched and I had it on Xbox, the 360, and they had exclusive 360 gear. Remember, it was like an all white one. It had like the green lines in the suit. And I'm assuming PlayStation also had some exclusive content as well. But this sounds like DLC though. If you're gonna bring staff members over, it sounds more than just cosmetics.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like some sort of DLC. It sounds a little bit somewhat like the Call of Duty stuff that's going on with them. The deals that they have with those guys. Yeah. So it just I think a lot of people are like getting all silly about it, like what's going on here? What are they doing?
It sounds like what's his name's the neighbor.
Tim Allen from it sounds like Tim Allen from Home Improvement. Hey, PlayStation.
I will say this. From my perspective, I don't think it says anything either way. For people like Brian and Chris and Adam, who's done tech, with development, sometimes when you're working on a project and you're getting close to being in go live, sometimes other parts from other divisions lend man hours and people to help out with the project to carry it to the finish line.
And I'll link with that because I know exactly what you're talking about. And we've had that with certain developers, or let's say like Cisco and other big companies that'll come in to help with their product. So I'm thinking that maybe they needed some help with the port that's going to PlayStation, whether it's because that works on PS4 and 5, right? That's not a PS5 exclusive.
What, Callisto Protocol?
Yeah,
I thought it was an exclusive to the next gen.
Is that a next gen exclusive?
Yeah, I think it is.
It is. All right, so then maybe that's it. Maybe
it's not.
No?
It's cross gen.
Okay.
All right. So then maybe that's the only thing I can think of is that they needed some help regarding that port version, and Sony said, "Hey, we'll send over a team to assist."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This also brings up some interesting, some suspicious Callisto Protocol. Apparently, the oddly enough, is that the reviews for this game are going to be coming out at around 9 a.m. West Coast time. So now, here's the thing: all y'all will probably be playing that way before the actual reviews come out. So
Yeah, because it releases at midnight technically.
Again, it's releasing soon. Like we don't got much time until y'all are going to be playing it.
Now.
A lot of folks are already have it pre-downloaded and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, what's going on? And some things have come out about it, saying that the game is actually pretty difficult. So maybe that's what the deal is, that they're trying to keep the fact that the game is pretty difficult, out of the mainstream, just so that
I just hope it's not broken. Like, that's the thing. Like, again, sort of like what you just brought up with the Sony sending over a team. We're assuming that it was to help them, but what if they said, hey, we can't get this, or Sony saw this and say, hey, this looks kind of rough. It's like, yeah, we're having some issues. Well, we're gonna send a team to make sure our version doesn't look as bad as those. That PC and Xbox one looks like bullshit. Fuck that. All right, but you know what? We're gonna fix our version. That's only who knows. We'll find out. But it's usually never a good sign when they wait this close. Like, we've seen it with Cyberpunk and a lot of other ones. I think the only exception to all of that is the Doom 2016, because they did the same thing. They didn't want to send reviews to anyone, and they were like, "Oh, it's because they're hiding something. It's probably going to be a horrible game." And it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Everybody loved it. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is wonderful."
Okay, but that's not usually the norm. It's usually a bad sign.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Well, you guys are listening in the live chat here. You could probably tell us.
Well, here's a question I have, because like Dark Souls is hard. God of War was pretty hard. I don't think that just a baseline difficulty is necessarily a reason to keep this back from people. Now, what it could be is that it could be kind of half broken, janky difficulty where you're like, okay, well, I died like 8 times out of 10. It's not my own fault. Like that could be a whole other ball game, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, or there could be a situation where there is actually no difficulty at all. It's just hard. It's just hard mode.
I mean, that would be crazy if they didn't add. Well, if people go back, if they look up online, remember way back, the developers originally wanted to have no pause. Yeah. They wanted to bring that immersive experience, and it was like, no, you can't pause it. And if you stay in one spot too long, the creatures will come for you. Keep moving. Mm-hmm. And then EA was like, no, people gotta go to the bathroom. Doors, ring and shit. No, we can't do that. Yeah. Well, now they have full control again. So.
What if some of that sort of stuff worked its way into there? I mean, like, did Dead Space originally have multiple difficulties, or was it just one? I don't. I mean, to be honest, no. I think it did, at least the second one, because I remember Chris was like, they had that one mode where you literally had you only had 3 saves throughout the game.
Oh yeah, there was end game stuff too. You get yeah.
So I think it had it. So, but who knows? It could just be that, or it could just be what else? We shall see in a few more hours. But speaking of Sony-ness, we got to talk about our boy, Why You Ryan? So,
Why You Ryan, man?
Yeah, man, Why You Ryan? Anyway, some more, people are just looking through this document that Sony had released to try to stop Microsoft from buying Activision, and so this one. So this one is that the PlayStation is about the PlayStation 6 and how it won't be released at least until 2027, according to the document.
I mean, it tracks.
It tracks, but I mean, it's interesting, like knowing usually. Obviously it tracks, but it's like there's also like just knowing that it's going to be happening then is also kind of crazy too, because there's certain things, there's certain like obvious things, right? Like there will always be a Call of Duty every year, even though the PR guys will constantly tell you, well, we can't tell you if there's going to be a new Call of Duty next year. And then it comes out, oh, wait a minute.
Well, we definitely know next year there is no Call of Duty. Yeah. Because they came out before even this deal and all this stuff.
But at least, here's the thing. This in advance. But literally, they'll be like, oh, no, well, we can't talk about that. What? We can't talk about that. And then I was like, hey, at E3 or whatever event, hey, by the way, that thing, it's coming. So this is another one where it's like, again, it's like, it just seems like Sony is just letting it all out on the table, just in an effort to try to stop this.
It's funny too because they do all this and they're trying to undermine their services, but at the same time, they'll look at this. We got God of War is a big hit. We just finished talking about Callisto Protocol, and they're sending a team over there to help them, and they got exclusive content. They have exclusive content with Call of Duty stuff that's out. So for them to say that this whole thing with Microsoft doing is not consumer friendly, and it's going to hurt gamers, you're doing it. You're making all this. You're proving it. You have all this stuff behind this wall, and you're trying to make it seem like you don't. So, especially when Microsoft already said we want it on all these platforms, and that was their rebuttal today. That big document that came out, it was just like, hey, we're not just talking about putting it on your system and our system on Game Pass. We're gonna put it on GeForce Now. We're gonna put it on Amazon's. We're gonna put it on the Switch, and we're not just talking Call of Duty. We're talking about the entire Activision catalog. So that is for the gamers. We are for the gamers. They want these games. We're gonna play it. They want old games that no one's doing anything with on Activision end. We'll do something. Remake them. We'll push them out. So it's dumb.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I mean, there's always talks about whether the new consoles were going to be delayed for the shortages going on with COVID and all that stuff. But I'm not surprised that even that normal. It seems like it's more consistent now, that 7-year run where the PlayStation 3 releases in 2006, and what is that, 4 5 6 7, and then the next console releases, PS4 releases in 2013. That's 7 years. Next 7 years, 2020, and then that's when the PS5 came out, and then the next oh wait, it's the PS6. Yeah. For some reason, I saw PS7 on the notes, but no, that was
no, it's PS6.
Yeah. So PS6 on 2027 just makes sense. And I don't think, with technology moving and just the way things are, I don't think Sony can even afford to delay this artificially. If they have something intact, something that's, ready to be in production, in mass production, I don't see them ever delaying anything like this. The interesting thing is we haven't even heard anything about a Pro. So who knows if that ever happens?
So you don't think that they'll have like a pro version in between? Because I think that's what we'll most likely see. I don't think it's just going to be not until 2027. I think we're going to see little iterations and modifications and updates like we normally do. We've always had that from the PS3 time all the way to now.
Well, the modifications for sure are here to come, because the PlayStation 5 is by no means a portable console. Not to say like a portable, like a Switch or anything, but like something that you can easily maneuver in the household or something like that. Yeah, they're definitely going to slim that down. That's for me, that's a given, because it's just too much. I As far as a Pro, like they did the last Pro, where they bumped up the GPU power on that. That's a tougher one for me right now. I'm not sure if there would be. Obviously, for everything else, a slim version, maybe a bigger SSD drive or something like that, or maybe one that comes pre-packaged with the installed SSD. I would definitely put money on that. But as far as a pro version, I'm not sure yet. I would say right now 50, 55, 45. I would say yes.
I mean, it's looking to me. It's sort of look like, at least by the time that I invest in one of the next gens, I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like I should just wait until whenever the Pro or the Super X shows up, and was it the Xbox Series Double X or something? Just so that because it seems like that's about when all the new hot games are going to be chopping out, right?
Seems like it.
Man. We gotta hope something comes. Man.
Yeah.
Well,
Adam,
it's gotta have something.
There you go.
This is ridiculous for both of them. I mean, I want to see the floodgates open. So who cares if we don't get a new console 2027? People can't even get the current ones.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. I'm afraid that, both of them are in a unique position where you don't necessarily want to be dragged behind in releasing your next gen console later. We've had history in the marketplace prove that, and technology it's not going to slow down, right? So we're going to continue to get the improvements, and they're going to be relegated to obsolete almost as quickly as they would have without this whole pandemic delay. So it's a really weird, unique position where do they either do a generation where it doesn't really feel like it's gotten up fully running and risk the ire of their fan base, or do they release a little bit later, let the generation really sink in, but then risk getting their console out after their competition.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see is an even worse doubling down on cross gen. I think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see. I know we had talked about it before, but because of the pandemic, I really believe that we're not going to see another hardline console generation probably ever again.
Mm.
Because I think the response to that problem is going to be like, well, we can release it, but not make it necessary to play all our brand new games for the first 3 years.
Mm.
Well, when it comes to manufacturing, that's still, you see all the stuff going on in China where they want to do the lockdown still, and the people like, no, we want to work. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's always going to be a hiccup unless they move their manufacturing outside of China, and that doesn't seem feasible because they already have the infrastructure, the factories are all there, the resources, the materials.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always going to be beholden to that process, regardless of what year they say they want to work on new consoles and releases. We all know we can't stick by any dates. We know that from the games, and we definitely know that with.
I mean, I hear like some of the manufacturers are moving toward, like, Mexico, and moving toward
Yeah.
other
They're
other
trying to move at least some of the part. Yeah, they get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Good, stuff. But here's some good news, and this is for Brian. So, by the way, Brian, have you seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners?
Yes, I have.
I'm the
You should
biggest
check it out
proponent of
if
it.
you have not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a fun
I need to
show.
check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun show. But speaking of that, is that Cyberpunk Edgerunners actually helped CD Projekt RED immensely for Cyberpunk. It literally gave them the best third quarter they've had in their entire history, which is nuts. I mean, dude, something can definitely be said to having a nice tie-in, and it also sort of coincided where they're literally, fixed up the game. Like that last update was, the Edgerunners update was like the big update that sort of like completed a lot of that before their big DLC that's supposed to be coming.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of the stars align on that one.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the the smartest moves that they sort of did to sort of like, I guess, in the whole bunch of like licensing things that they did with Cyberpunk, where like I think they made a couple of deals with some car companies, they made a couple of deals with a bunch of toy companies and all kinds of other things. And I think the biggest one about this one is that the fact that, and you saw Carlos, Brian, you saw that in the anime, like literally the game, like they literally took screenshots of the game, like they literally went in the different locations from the actual game, and you can actually go to those locations that are like portrayed inside the anime.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool, and yeah, like there's been like tons of places that are just straight out of the game. Like I even did that. Is it the Wolf of Wall Street meme? Where, like Leonardo just points at the screen. It's like I recognize that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I did that just so many times. Like, yeah, I've been there. Like, I've been on that corner. It's like, wow, just feels really weird.
Yeah, I think there's something really seriously, like, I think
Should somebody play the game first before watch? I played a little bit, but I didn't really play too much, and now I haven't watched this, and I want to watch it.
To be honest,
I played the game right before I watched the anime. Actually,
it's thing about it is that the anime takes place. It's just like any sort of thing. It's like it uses the cyberpunk world to sort of be the background of it. and it has the lore of it, but you don't actually need to play Cyberpunk in order to kind of get what's going on in the show.
Yeah, Adam. Here's the deal. Like they not just the places and things like that, but like the kind of equipment that you'll find, the kind of superpowers that people have. Like the whole show is about this certain chip that slows down time. Like you could actually get that. That's one of the ways to play through the game.
That's my concern.
No. But that's what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't really.
It does it in a way where if you watch the anime, you're not going to be able to tell what's actually calling out the references, right? Like you're gonna watch it and just be like, okay, it's told me all this information that I need to know for the story, but I don't know how much of it is related to the game. And then you'll play the game and you'll be like, I saw that. Oh, okay. So that's something that you can actually do.
Yeah.
So you can do it either way. It's really weird, but it's the kind of tie-in where they weave it through the info of the game, but they also give you all the info that you need in context when you're watching the anime.
Yeah. So it's sort of like Ouroboros. It's sort of like eating its own tail. Like it's like there's, as I remember, there's like, the areas that you do recognize from the anime, those also have additional quests if you go to them in the actual game. And I think there's certain callbacks in the game that are actually, nobody knew what they were about, but then finally when the anime came out, they're like, oh my god, it's that. So there's a bunch of those sorts of things that are sort of weaved through it, which I don't know. Like there's some years ago there was a game that did this. I forget, it was like a TV show, and that like some things about the TV show went into the game. What was that?
Sci-fi?
Yes,
Sci-fi channel, live action.
Yeah, it was. I forgot the name of it, but it was.
But it's not that. It's something with a D though.
Yeah, it was like a MMO or something like that, where something the events of the show somehow affected the game.
And they did certain, because the developers released certain events based around what took place that week. In the episode.
So I mean, that's I don't know. There's something fun about having these sorts of tie-ins that actually are a recognizable, connection to the actual game and vice versa. Like I always like, at least when the first Resident Evil came out, they at least sort of set it up to where it sort of could fit within the realm of the Resident Evil world, and then the sequels just all went out to know all over the place, right? The Michelle Rodriguez, and Mila Jovovich movie, there you could theoretically fit that into that world, into the video game world, and it could sort of fit in there. But in this one, it's like they're actually going to all the different places that you sort of recognize and like, oh, hey, look at that.
Well, I know when I will have that experience with Gears, when the Gears animated starts on Netflix. Then I'll be like, oh yes, I know these locations.
As speaking, this is not on your notes. Speaking of animes and animated films, Dragon Age.
Oh wow!
What?
Yeah.
They're making an anime.
They're making a Dragon Age one. I think it's on Netflix as well.
Okay.
I don't know fully about it, but they showed some footage for it, and it looks pretty damn amazing.
Damn, and Netflix turning into the new Crunchyroll over here.
No, here's the thing: they've been doing video game adaptations, and they're all kind of cool.
They're solid. I mean, I don't care what people say. I like that Pacific Rim one that they did based on that movie. That was pretty cool.
Castlevania, killed it.
Like Castlevania, and then the Witcher one that they did not long ago.
That was really good too.
I mean, it's not really the video game, but it's still sort of video game related. And
actually, I thought it was a great tie-in, man. Like,
oh no,
it's better than if it were canon stuff. It was really great world building.
Yeah, and there's that, and then there's, what was it, Dota? Dota's like, well, I mean, Dota's not like, Dota doesn't really have much of a story, but that whatever they made is actually really damn cool too. And what was there was another one. There's Dota, and then Arcane, which I still need to see. I know I have to watch it.
Oh God, Arcane is unreasonably good.
It's from what I've seen, it's just a beautiful looking animated like CD animation.
It's like the writing, not just the writing, but the subject matter is way more adult than you'd think. Like, they're like, okay, so it's a cartoon based on a kid's game. They're like, yeah, but it has like elements of like racism and classism and substance abuse and slavery and technology gone awry
Mm-hmm.
and the value of a human life. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, really?
Yeah, they're going into that space and getting a little adult in there.
Yeah, it's a wonderfully made story with really good subplot. Like, it's just genuinely well crafted, which I find a little surprising on these kinds of things, because you don't think they're going to be bringing a powerhouse of talent. But like, even when you sit down and break it down and look at it critically, at like its story structure, just its story elements, the way that it weaves plot and subplot together, does a bang up fucking job.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think somehow, at least with these video game adaptations, and granted, a lot of these adaptations aren't full on direct adaptations, but they sort of fit within the realm of them. Like, in other words, they can fit in that world. I feel like they also that helps. Well, with the exception of Castlevania, which they literally adapted it, but they sort of made it make a little bit more sense, as far as a watching experience. You can the plot of Castlevania is literally the plot of I think Rondo. What was it? Oh no, Castlevania 3. So like, you can literally, whatever has been written about that game and all that sort of stuff, it sort of pretty much goes with the lore of it, and as well as obviously making those sorts of little visual changes as far as designs and things. But hopefully that I wish that Netflix's I wish Netflix's thing with the video games, as far as the video game adaptations, would literally spread over to some of the lousy anime adaptations they've been doing.
Yep. And just to top it off, there's one video game adaptation that Netflix done that is very kind of awful, and it breaks my heart for one big reason, is Dragon's Dogma.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually watched that one. I didn't like the
Don't.
You know what? I watched the CG and I didn't like it. I just thought it was.
This is coming from a guy that loves it, bought it on PlayStation, bought it on PC, platinumed it, and champions it quite a lot. And it's just kind of, I watched one episode and it's just breaks my heart on so many levels, like, to watch, and the story just like, oh, come on, you have like a great fantasy game here, and just it's a subpar anime, and it's just really sad to see, like, considering how awesome, like, everything else video game related that Netflix does. Again, like Castlevania, Edgerunners, the Witcher stuff. It's like, why can't Dragon's Dogma be on that level? It just makes me sad.
I hear a podcat.
Yeah, he won't shut up.
It's the morning over there, so oh no, he sees that you're up, right? And he thinks he can ask you for food. That's usually the deal.
While you're up.
Yeah, while you're up, can you get me a little something? I'm hungry right now.
He has food, but I don't know what he wants.
Yeah,
So,
or it could just be
hold
the
on.
normal cat thing. It's just, I just want your attention. You're up. I want it.
Yeah, mine.
But yeah. And the second thing about CD Projekt RED is the Witcher Remake. This is the Witcher 1. And they confirm that it will be open world. Now, I don't remember. I think that the first Witcher game was not an open world game. I think it was just sort of a linear sort of narrative.
Well, maybe the first. I know Witcher, the last one, Witcher 3. That one was pretty open.
Oh no! I mean, Brian, have you played the Witcher 2 or 1? No, right?
I played 2. I just didn't play 1 because everyone said it was butt
The
cheeks.
controls
Two-
were bad. That's
Two,
what I heard.
two is not an open world game either, is it? Witcher Wild Hunt was the first foray into
Yeah, you get on the
open
horse
world.
and go where you want to go.
yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember.
Yeah, it's a hard one to think. I think the original Witcher was just like a sort of a slow, like a more of a linear narrative. I mean, maybe those of you inside of the chat can tell us this, because to be honest, I don't think any of us played it. I guess a big question mark would be probably, Brett, did you ever play it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did.
What-
It was open world ish.
Okay.
It was open world in the sense that like it was in a place where you could technically go in any direction you want, but the breadcrumbs were put in a very linear fashion through it. So like get to a place, be like, I'm in this town now, and look, there's like 3 side quests in this town and a main quest, and I'm gonna do that stuff, and then I'm gonna move along to the next town, the main quest, and there's 3 side quests for me here too. So it was holding your hand through an open world.
Oh, okay. So it's like the open world is more of a set dressing. There's not like all this additional stuff really going on. It's just all sort of like you just follow the road.
Yeah. It was kind of like an amusement park, in the sense of like like I'm in this area now. I need you to go over to there, over to here, or over to here. There's 3 places that you can go, but we're doing one of these. It kind of reminds me of like I'm going to start calling these like cruise line tours, right? Because like a cruise will take you to like a city, and you get out in the city and do like one of 3 activities that they have planned, and you get back on the cruise ship and you go to the next city or the next destination. It's that exact kind of pacing.
You know it's funny when you think about talk about that. That's always when that's what I felt about the not that sort of idea, but it's like I sort of felt about the first Dead Space, like a lot of the original Dead Space games, where they sort of feel like the haunted house, where it's like the horrible thing that's happening to somebody else is usually happening behind a window or on a screen, but you never actually get to interact with it until like it's like, ooh, something scary over there, ooh. And then later on, then you have the guys in the costumes to come around you and start accosting you, start messing with you, right? That's the enemies.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
Right? It's like, oh, look, scary thing. So yeah, it's sort of like a guided tour through an open-ish world. Yeah, so that game's going to be the whole remake is going to be a full open world. So it's going to be, my guess is they're going to greatly expand it and do all that lovely stuff that happens. They're going to make it as much of a time waster as possible. So y'all be happy.
Is anyone actually looking forward to playing this?
No.
I
There's
don't
too
know.
much other shit to play. As much as Tony says there isn't, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I mean, because I actually kind of want to play The Witcher 3 one of these days. So for me, if I enjoyed The Witcher 3 a lot, maybe it'll be something that I'm interested. But as far as right now, not really.
Well, to be honest, it's a pretty good time to play The Witcher 3 because it's getting that the next gen update.
Yeah, that's what's kind of sparked my interest on going back. Because when I played The Witcher 3 when it came out, and I played like just the opening level. So yeah, I never got too deep into that game. So would be good to try it again.
Brian, so as I remember that this the Witcher 3 update is actually free if you had the previous version. So does that mean you're gonna do it?
Oh, if it's free, I have it too, man.
Yeah, it's just free. You just get the updates. They're not charging you $10 like other companies would for updating a 7-year-old game. Looking at you, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Ah, yes. Somebody who likes somebody who likes the Ryan a lot. So yes, we have it looks like we're getting close to the end here. And then we get a text message from Tony saying, I'm getting on our train. We got to keep this shit rolling long enough to when this dude can get back in the...
already over?
He says
shit.
Yeah,
well,
he
listed like 3 bands that were playing
It's a metal show. It's on crowd.
No.
They gotta go to sleep before.
Nah, man.
Like go to like 11 or 12.
You get out at 11, and this dude coming from Manhattan now, like he has got a less than 30-minute trip, so he may just be on while we're still on. Just catch the end of this. So we'll see. but we are the
I do
next.
have some things just to add. It's kind of like a weird off-tangent question, but
Yeah.
related. So the fact that this is like with CD Projekt Red's like having like a really good time in terms of adaptations boosting the products.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it with The Witcher, now we're seeing with Edgerunners.
Yes.
Are we like, is this going to be something that like we can see going forward with other properties? Because again, you announced that there's Dragon Age, and then there's Last of Us TV show, and then
Mm-hmm.
Mario.
Sony announced that there's like a
They
yeah,
got the
the,
Gears.
yeah, the
Gears of
Mario,
War.
the
They're doing
Gears,
that. Oh.
the Horizon. Like, can we expect
Where's the
this
Mass Effect?
going
Bring that
forward?
That's a-
You know,
I mean, it's you know, to be honest, it's that like I always talk about this when it comes to marketing. You know, I've worked in animation, I've worked in, you know, gaming and sort of stuff like that, and also in comics. And the one thing that has always been a thing is brand synergy. And I always say that like, especially when it comes to like anime, like if you look at the anime market right now, right, it's doing gangbusters, right? But the key to that, at least I feel, is the fact that everything looks is sort of. I talk about that Ouroboros effect, where everything sort of comes back on or comes back around itself. If you watch the Full Metal Alchemist show, you watch the you buy the toys, you do all that other stuff. It all comes around. It all looks the same. It all feeds itself. Unlike something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which does not come back. You just have the movies, maybe the TV shows, the toys, all that stuff exists, but it doesn't exist in the same realm. It's all a part of the multiverse, because that's the way they unite their properties now. That's both what DC and Marvel are doing, as opposed to saying, okay, how do we bring this back around so that we can get more business into our other sectors, like the comic books and all that other stuff. And I feel like with Edgerunners at CD Projekt Red, I think that is a really good thing. Getting these creative people in there to do these as sort of fun adaptations, but also still reflect what is the actual essence of the actual game, as opposed to making lousy Resident Evil movies and just, you know, cherry picking scenes from the game and then throwing them all together into one melting pot.
I never understood that.
I will mention that I think it has less to do with video games and more to do that we're in the golden age of creating a TV show because we need our streaming service to have more TV shows.
Yes, there is that. I mean, to be honest,
Is it easier or cheaper to make an anime as opposed to live action?
It takes. I mean, it's not as expensive as because in general anime is, expense wise, it is not meant to be spent. You're not supposed to spend a lot of money on it. You spend enough money on it, and I think that But I think the thing is that attracting a company like the company, now we're in all anime world, by the way. No anime. So yeah, like attracting a company like Studio Trigger, the guys who did, the animators who did Gurren Lagann and a lot of other really cool animes, like having them attracted enough to a property and letting them, like, at least from what I saw, some of the interviews with them and with CD Projekt Red, is that they, CD Projekt Red gave them the plot, they gave them the whole script, and then they just let them. They said, you know what, we're gonna rewrite the script and make it more anime, and essentially change things around and get, but still keep the essence of the world and all that sort of stuff in there, because they were just as big fans of the whole cyberpunk world as. I mean, to be honest, like, you gotta look at anime from like the 90s and the 2000s, like all that stuff was all, like even the 80s, all that stuff was all based off of like Blade Runner and a bunch of stuff that came, all the cyberpunk content from back then,
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely, I agree though, Carlos, that it is the fact that we have a bunch of streaming companies that said, like, yo man, we need some content, that cyberpunk thing, fund that.
Halo,
Yeah.
You know, and all that. You know, Last of Us now, and
But
it's just
When
it's
is
just
that Last of Us? I keep seeing the hype for the videos. It's like
it's
there's a release date or they don't.
January or February, I think, next year.
oh, okay. So they're doing it. They're doing it in a cold month. So we're all so everybody's like, let's watch some man.
Or we gotta warm up, put the blanket, watch Ellie, or watch that first scene again. You know they're gonna remake that first scene from the first game.
Yeah.
They're gonna recreate that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wasn't sure of the time period. Is this from 1 or 2?
It looks like it's one.
Yeah.
But my guess is it's sort of like, well, here's a weird thing. Like, if you think about it, like
I thought it was.
they can literally adapt all of one, just cut out a lot of the, you know,
Yeah.
fat.
Or
I
or
guess.
they can continue off from the end of 1 because we still don't know the full story of how it led into 2 with that new community that they got with. So
yeah.
that's a big time that
Yeah,
they can just
there's a
fill in
time
the
jump.
blank
They could, yeah, like in
Yeah.
other words, at the end of the show.
and write whatever they want.
Yeah,
'cause
but
we don't
I
know
mean,
what took
but
place.
but you gotta admit this: the story for 1 is super popular, and they're
Mhm.
not gonna not do it on a TV show they're trying to sell.
Yeah,
So and if they want this to go more than one season, it's much smarter from a producing wise to start at the beginning when you know that first story is at least good enough where most of the people who played that game really enjoyed it.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then they'll carry on with that. But yeah, Manny, I agree. They have. I mean, usually with video games, they have to cut a lot of fluff.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see what kind of things they cut off, and there usually sometimes are inclusions to
It's going to be
different
the
stories.
combat scenes. Anything that had to do with weird side missions where Ellie had to go by herself. They'll cut that.
They won't have all those sequences where you're just like you run off to the side and they're like, "Hey, where's he going?"
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I do want to bring a quick tangent on this. It's
Mm-hmm.
related, but I do find it ironic. We mentioned all of these video games; they all had a TV or a movie associated to them. But the king of making story-based single-player games doesn't really have that many of their titles. They obviously Spider-Man because Spider-Man is
Spider-Man.
they made the video game because of the movie and the comics
Yeah.
and stuff. But The Last of Us is one of them. But we have no God of War, no Ghost of Tsushima, no. We had
They-
Uncharted.
I think they said there was going to be a Ghost of Tsushima one.
What happened to Ubisoft? Remember, they started a whole movie studio.
Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, like their first foray into like making adaptations, at least of their franchises, was that sort of lousy Ratchet and Clank movie they did, which didn't do so well. But the game did well.
Yeah.
They're obviously attempting to try to promote itself, but I feel like the movie the game literally outdid the movie.
It was weird too because all the cinematic scenes were the movie.
Yeah,
So it was the movie
Yeah.
in the game.
it was the movie in the game. I mean, to be honest, like one thing to know about that game is that it sort of it's like a lot of people talk about the rendering tech that that Insomniac has. And that directly came from the production of that game and trying to make it look as close to the movie as possible. So a lot of the material work and all that sort of stuff is them actively trying to pull the CG side into the pre-rendered CG side and trying to figure out solutions within a real time to get that. So Ratchet and Clank look good because of I mean Spider-Man looks good because of Ratchet and Clank the movie. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I feel like I would think that that Sony would have a lot more companies.
Yeah,
to-
and they're actually a movie studio company as well. So.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
You
now
would
they
think
have the
that-
PlayStation Studios, and we'll see what they come up with.
Mhm.
But we'll see. I don't know, like what else could they like? I mean, I guess Horizon Zero Dawn would be one that they could do, and obviously God of War. But
God of War, yeah.
I mean, would they do like? Here's the thing: like, if they did God of War, would it be like previous God of War when he's Greek one? I mean, because I kind of would like to see that. I don't know.
That'd be pretty interesting.
And then sort of like the evolution of it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking about now is it'll kind of suck because the story in God of War Ragnarok was just really good. So it'd be
It
interesting to see a movie adaptation or a TV adaptation that pales in comparison to story
it
with the
would be
video.
it would be sort of fascinating to see them take the Greek tragedy, because obviously God of War, the original, was sort of based off of those sort of Greek tragedies, sort of reconfiguring that and sort of trying to find, because there's a lot more, there's a lot more emotion to what Kratos does in the later game in compared to like the first. Well, I would say the first game. I think that one has the most of the emotion of the previous games. But I feel like once 2 came along, he became like Angry Man. Like he just like, he killed Ares, like Ares, and it's like Zeus, and, Athena.
That whole opening fight scene is just craziness. Fire flying around, everyone fighting people.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to sort of see them take that sort of idea. But Brian would be like, bah.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think just how many of video game adaptations there actually are. Like Pokemon. I mean, obviously that Pokemon has adaptations.
Yeah,
That last one was pretty good. I don't like Pokemon. I'm not into it, but that movie was fun.
Oh, I was gonna say because people have been talking about it's been a recent conversation. I've dropped out of Pokemon over a decade ago, more than a decade ago, and people have been talking. It's like, oh, Ash finally won.
Oh, he did. He actually became the gym leader or whatever,
like a Pokemon master or something like that.
Yeah, he finally won a tournament.
So because if you remember in the games, Red, which is the character that Ash plays, Ash is sort of the fill-in for that, who looks exactly like him. Now, in the games, when you went on to the new protagonist, you get to fight Red in Victory Road, like in the post game. Yes. So is that their way of working Ash out of the show, and then bringing in a new protagonist?
He aged out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's like SpongeBob at this point. It just stays the same.
The one thing I was actually thinking about this, because my girlfriend is watching The Simpsons again, right? And I was like, okay, so how many episodes of The Simpsons are there? There's like 170 or so, right? Now, let's say at 170, that's for every single day of a person's life. 1 episode or 2 episodes for that person's life. So that's only really about 2 years. So theoretically, we're watching only 2 years of The Simpsons' life, but yet and all this other stuff seems to be happening so much quicker, right? 1 minute they're talking about Michael Jackson, the next they're talking about somebody like Kanye West or something.
Yeah. We had talked about that, Carlos, remember, with The Walking Dead before they did the big time jump. Everything from season 1 to 5 was only within like 1 year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I suppose it was like 5 years for us.
No, it's like a week of their life. It's like, damn,
yeah.
why is Daryl Dixon getting all of a sudden old so quickly if you think about it in the time frame?
Getting too much sun.
Yeah, right. So
Daryl is one of the ones that did age a lot.
Yeah, he did.
He looked really young.
He had a baby face. He could still. I mean, what was it? He did when they started that show. I think he did. What was that movie?
Boondock Saints.
He did the second Boondock Saints, right? Like around that time when he got that movie, right?
It was that or Blade. I don't remember.
No, Blade. He's a baby. Blade. He's a baby face. He's like stupid young in Blade. But like later, around that time, I feel like after Boondock Saints and like Boondock Saints 2 time is around when he started Walking Dead.
That's the craziness, and then he's done this ever since. If that's his whole career in Hollywood, well,
I mean, to be honest, it's literally a character that he's creating on his own. Like he doesn't have any, There's no other
No.
like there's no comic version
There is no
version
comic,
of
no.
him.
Nope, he was a wild card.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm sure, like, you know, when it comes to him, it's just like, don't kill it. Don't kill him. He's making us too much money. The people love him too much.
Yeah.
We still have some. We still have some. Actually, have some. So still have a couple of more topics. So Ubisoft.
no, Ubisoft.
No, Ubisoft. Anyway, Beyond Good and Evil is actually still in early development.
Lies.
How long has it been?
It's 20 years.
It's been
Feels like
a
that.
lifetime ago. It feels like.
I think the PS4 came and went in that time since it was announced, and now
Yeah, like
even Cyberpunk may have actually been announced and released in that time frame.
Damn.
Let me check to be sure.
A bunch
Oh
of
my
games have
God.
come and gone.
Like
from when they were announced.
it's amazing to me that that's I mean wasn't Guillemot like head of this, the guy who created Rayman? Like he was supposedly in charge of sort of Rayman 2 and they got rid of him for, you know, problematic reasons. You know,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he spearheaded that.
he was spearheading
Um,
that original version, and they had that demo that they were showing where like you could build your own ship and you could make your own character and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if Tony. I mean, he could probably tell us if he decides to drop in. But
Well, wasn't that's interesting? Wasn't Beyond Good and Evil 2 revealed in like 1 year, and then it got revealed again? Like,
Yes.
like after a couple of years, and
It
it was
was-
like,
well-
damn, this looks completely different.
there was that really nice looking trail that they put out, like with the pig guy and her on the side of a highway, and it looked all really nice and realistic looking. And
It
that
was
they
like
just
a balloon or something, like a zeppelin or something looking. I don't remember. I forgot.
it was something
But
like
yeah,
that. And then like
It was outside. Yeah.
it was outside. It looked really nice, and we are like, hey, look, it's but then like after that point, it just sort of poof disappeared, and then I don't know. I can't remember, mate. I don't know when they did it, but
This is why I don't get hyped for any of those trailers. There's no guarantee we're gonna get it.
I mean, here's the thing. That's with age, man. That's like we've been doing this. We've been watching these sort of game trailers and stuff. Like we're going back to like PS3 era where they're showing us fake footage of Killzone era stuff. I feel like we've sort of learned our lessons to sort of temper our excitement for that stuff, but that doesn't mean that some people are just like, you know, like you see, you know, I think Tony was talking about on the other show, like how Nintendo fans were like losing their mind and fainting all over the place for these games.
Mm-hmm.
So,
2008 was the original announcement.
oh my God!
So,
Where
yeah,
were
Wow.
you, Carlos, in 2008? What were you doing? 2000.
I was in college.
Okay, Manny, what were you doing?
2008, I was still working on the Ninja Turtles cartoon. In fact, I probably was watching the E3. Oh my God, dude! Yo, cool stuff to blog time. That's
Oh yeah,
that's
we
what
were doing that.
that's pre Throwdown, guys. So like
Mhm.
Throwdown before, you know, Throwdown became Throwdown when it got to STFU and Play. But previous to that, Adam, Chris, myself, we had a little blog called Cool Stuff to Blog, and that is what sort of. And Tony back in those days was like, he was like a beast, like. That like when we started it was we started it was like, you know, because Tony back then, he was just sort of that, like he just beat games like crazy. Like he would like I'd still be playing the game and he'd just be like, beat it, done, week, less than a week, like that. Just come through. I'm like, yo man, why don't you just write about these games, man? Like why don't you tell us about, you know, you're literally completing a game like nothing. So just why not talk about it? He's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be some asshole with a blog. And then I'm like, we'll do it. And then Adam jumped in because Adam has history writing articles. You know, he used to write for magazines and stuff like that. So we all sort of joined together. And Tony was like the thunder child, man. He would like jump in. He got all his, you know, got all the things. We had all, like, the chief reason why Cool Stuff the blog was so updated so much was just because of
He
just
was
Tony.
always on it.
He was always on it.
I'll post one thing and then I'll go back to take a look how it's doing. There's like 4 other posts.
Oh
in
yeah,
front of me.
and we were
I'm
back
like,
then.
what?
Back then, we were covering stuff too. We would get into a little
I
thing.
feel
We
like
watched it
Diablo.
together.
I just came out. I remember covering some of that. Diablo 3. That was.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of some of our I think if you do a search for it, you might be able to find it. So you could see some ancient history. Though some versions, like some of the articles, the later articles, because we had a duplicate, and some of those the later articles that we did sort of just went to the wayside. But you can actually see like early articles. I think I reviewed a few Metal Gear games on there and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. That was pretty much what we were doing in 2008.
There you go. What about you, Brett? What were you doing in 2008?
Hanging out, tattooing. I didn't really get into the industry until I kind of got pulled in through here. I was just a very enthusiastic amateur. And then one day Rachel was working on it, and I got pulled in. She's like, "Oh, you should meet my I think I was her husband already at that time."
Yeah, you were.
So, you should meet my husband. I came on. And Teresa was like, "You know your shit," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't really have that much of a life, to be real honest with you." And I kind of got pulled in the Throwdown. Been here ever since.
Yep. So that's
And Brian, what about you?
I had just graduated from university that year, and I was fresh-eyed and bushy-tailed. You know, I was hearing rumblings of this weird thing. I don't know if it's still around anymore. It's called Bitcoin.
I heard of it. I heard it.
Yeah, it was really weird because it was like somehow it was like 10 cents for $1, and it's like that's fucking fake money.
Right? Digi-money. Digi-money.
yeah.
But yeah, just fresh out of university, and I just checked the times, and Brett, just hold on to your seat. The Cyberpunk 2077 announcement trailer with the lady with the mantis arms was 2013.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so 2013, that is when we started doing Throwdown Official. Like that is we started doing Throwdown Official. That's Tony, me, and Torrance Davis went to our first. Me and Tony went to our first E3 with Torrance Davis.
Nice.
Ah!
Wait, was it 2013 when you started Throwdown?
Maybe a little bit before.
I think it was before. Yeah,
It was a little bit before, like 2012.
I thought it was 2012.
Yeah, it's 2012, but 2013 is when we went to E3 and all that stuff. Well, cool. When STFU and Play was doing some pretty good numbers back then. We're getting some good stuff. We got an interview with I forgot the name of the cosplayer. We did an interview on the E3, in a nice area over there. It was really good. Good times.
Yeah. It also means that Cyberpunk got announced and released in the space of Good and Evil 2 being announced.
Oh God. Oh man,
Mhm.
I feel like Ubisoft is just right now with this game, Good and Evil, and the ship game,
Yeah.
which is also in a weird limbo space. I almost feel like they sort of lack, people to sort of push these things through, like really have a legitimate vision. Maybe these things are sort of like constantly, going through creative staff, and they're just like, fuck it, whatever, it's not good. Just back to formula,
Damn, in that time, got married and had 2 kids. It's like
Yeah.
2008, that's nuts.
Imagine,
Avatar,
check this out.
Avatar came out, right? Wasn't it Avatar?
No, Avatar was like 2009. Imagine this. So, the Beyond Good and Evil trailer released in May 30th, 2008. That is, what, 14 years ago?
Jeez.
More than 14 years ago? Imagine how many GTAs have released since then. Oh, I can. It's only one.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh,
GTA 4 released right before into 2008, actually. But yeah,
Rockstar has only made 2 games since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it Red? Yeah, Red Dead. Yeah, like GTA, and then the last GTA, and then Red Dead Redemption. Oh, but LA Noir is in there, but that officially isn't like Rockstar.
Yeah, that was their sites.
It was
One of their sites.
Bandai.
No, no,
Bondi.
yeah, Team Bondi.
Yeah,
Which,
Tim Bondi.
which funny thing about those guys is they were former the Getaway, and were they the Getaway? Yeah, like they were the former Getaway studio.
The agent.
No, oh yeah, the the agent. Oh my god, is it?
It was,
Do they still keep the name on like licensed?
The
I
trademark.
think so.
Yeah, they still keep the name trademark, don't they?
Yeah. But remember, there was a whole big controversy. That was before the crazy crunch and all that stuff. Because remember, that's where they shut down. There was all this controversy of like management forcing them to work and miss holidays and birthday, all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So when LA Noir finally came out, then that studio went under. They just closed up the shop.
Yeah, Team Bondi. Yeah, those guys. I mean, their tech was pretty impressive, though.
Oh, it was in the film festival. Remember, Tribeca Film Festival. They won an award because they were using real actors.
Yep.
The actors, and they were doing emotion. So, like, well, if it's real actors and you're getting their real expressions, then they are acting, and that qualifies. I remember the main guy was from Mad Men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't looked at the HD remaster they did, but
I did. I played it on PlayStation 5. It looked great.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So a lot of things have happened since Beyond Good and Evil. It's a sad situation. I'd like to see. I mean, granted, I liked the original Beyond Good and Evil, but I also think at the same time I do think that everybody should play it. It's a granted it's possibly a little bit simple for modern tastes, but it's a good little game, and I think it's I especially with the way that game ended off, it's like a big old cliffhanger, right?
I didn't play it.
No, I didn't play it.
Brian played it. Brian played it. Brett played it. Yeah, but yeah, it's like a big old cliffhanger. Like something happens, something happens, and then you're like, and then it's like, oh no, done and done. That game did, the original game did not do very well, but it's one of those sort of, I guess you would consider a cult classic. So, I think a lot of this is sort of, I think a lot of what's happening now is they know that previous one didn't do so well, and maybe rather than try to recreate that game, they're sort of trying to make something new, sort of soft reboot the title. At least from the last version of this game that we saw, demoed, was the fact that it was that sort of open world-ish sort of deal where everything is customizable and everything like that. So, but I think a lot of people, at least the fans of the original game, were pretty disappointed by that version of the title. And yeah, they were also flashing around that new engine that they were working on as well. I don't even know what happened to that.
I wonder if Beyond Good and Evil is going to go into the Hall of Fame. Beyond Good and Evil 2, because I wonder if it'll be in the same class with Duke Nukem Forever, The Last Guardian. I wonder if we've reached that stage.
Oh, the Last Guardian.
Those games eventually released, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it ever does come out, it's gonna break records.
It's I mean, to be honest, like I feel like at some point, just it's in development for so long. I feel like they need to just close down the shop or just find a new solution to this. Maybe release a smaller title. I don't know. They gotta have something eventually.
And they don't have Singapore bankrolling them, so.
Oh yeah.
That other game.
So this is actually going to be our last topic for today. Yo, Final Fantasy, you think you hard? Anyway, Final Fantasy 16 apparently is getting has a lot more edgy, at least from the sort of ESRB and ratings board. So now it's going to be at a higher rating. So right now this one is gonna. They have what the at least from what they're saying is it has hate crimes, drugs, and persecution according to a lot of this sort of according to some of the reports on this one. So it's like Final Fantasy somehow getting hard. How hard can a Final Fantasy really get? I mean,
like we said before, there's permadeath. That's the only thing we can think of is they do like a permadeath.
No,
situation.
I mean, this is talking about like plot, plot stuff, right? That you have all these sorts of things happening. But I mean, like in general, how hard can a Final Fantasy really sort of get? Because I think in its essence, like even as dark as some of the Final Fantasy games get, there's still a fair amount of lightness to them.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played one that seemed like that overly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, it says hate crimes, drugs, and prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like something that hasn't happened before.
I mean, they sort of allude to it in what do they call it in Final Fantasy VII? You know,
are
like,
chocobos the prostitutes?
No, I mean like in the Walmart. If you played Final Fantasy VII, you go through the wall market, right? The wall market is just sort of like red light district of Midgard.
Yeah.
So in there, he sort of ends up in like a gentleman's club, and he has to dress up and drag to get into the pervert crime boss that runs the town. So they sort of allude to it in there, but it's never really that dark. Like Cloud isn't on cracked out on drugs on a corner somewhere. You know.
You didn't get that impression? That's what I took away from it.
He's not cutting himself and stuff like that. I am my own monster.
Shit, this ain't Fallout 3. I don't know. That shit was crazy. You get hooked on drugs. It's like walked around cracked out the whole time.
Oh God. So yeah, I don't. I just think okay, these things are in there, but I don't think, to be honest, I don't think that Final Fantasy would ever go that hard as far as these sorts of things as far as content.
At least not that blatant.
No.
It definitely like you mentioned, a couple of overtones and subtle nods to stuff like that. But yeah, nothing that's gonna nothing that's gonna have the ESRB say, hey, this is X-rated or something like that. Whatever that rating is.
So
you got the text?
Yeah, I got the text. He's like, "Yo, I got home." It's like, "Should I drop?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Home? Who are you? Hip hop?
Yo, man. I mean, I tell you, man, that like Tony got the coolness because he got a place that's like the dream, like right, getting home from Manhattan in less than an hour, especially if you're out late, because like if you go on like, you go out on the town like in New York at around, I would say 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock. That's like the witching hour. Everything starts going off. Like, E-Train doesn't run right. It's all running local, especially on weekends. It's messed up. So
that was one of the things I loved about. That's one of the things I loved about living in Spanish Harlem because of that. I was already in the city, so whenever I'm leaving a bar, like, oh, we gotta travel, we gotta do something. I was like, I could just get on the train or call a cab, and I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So like, he literally just texted us like 30 minutes ago. I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for the train, and he's like, boom, he's there. So, but yeah, in the meantime, we're all out of topics. So I guess what we're gonna do now is do a little bit of what you've been playing. I officially gonna go first because I don't have a lot I'm playing. I'm still I'm like the epitome of casual gamer. I would tell you this: when I started, we're talking about like, what was it, 2008, right? Or even before that. When I got that full-time job, I sort of stopped all like really, long, like, heavy game playing. I sort of just like, last RPG I played was like Rogue Galaxy and what was that called? Dragon Quest 8. This is like PlayStation 2 era, not even a 3. So so
Man,
yeah. So now, I mean, again, I have a couple of things that I have in the docket. I'm still playing that what is it? EX Troopers or X Troopers. I don't think I have much more to go in it. It's not a super difficult game. But what was it? I did see Adam talking about the what was that game? Evil West.
Halo?
No,
Yeah,
Evil West. Him and a few other people have been talking about it. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, it's fun. It's worth it.
Smaller
It's a good one.
game title, only about 10 hours long.
Yeah, a lot of action. Keeps you
Action
going.
game,
The
shooting.
story's pretty over the top. I definitely think I could see it as like an animated series or a movie or a TV show.
I
It's
don't know.
steampunk with Wild West with Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter type of vibe.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's
I
in that
may
vein.
I may decide.
Civil
I
War.
made that might be my video game treat for the end of the year. Maybe play Evil West and but I first want to go through EX Troopers because I was having a good time with that game. But yeah, all right. Adam.
You Adam. Before
Oh.
I do have a question for Adam. Have you
Shit.
played? Oh, that's another question. Have you played that Vampire Hunters or whatever that game is
No,
called?
the one that everyone's
that's
going crazy on PC.
Yeah.
And when I whip on my Steam Deck, people are like, "Yo, you got to be playing that one." I'm like, "No, I don't play that. I need to try it out. I need to just figure this shit out." Everyone's praising this, and just like Tony, when I view it, it doesn't look that spectacular. I don't see.
Well,
the
you know why
appeal.
Tony thinks that though.
Well, yeah, because it's an indie game, but that's not my thing. I have no problems with indie game. I loved, Hello Miami and stuff like that. Hooked on them. And then, of course, One Finger Death Punch. I love that game.
My friend
But
is
this,
Pedro.
yeah, my friend's Pedro and stuff. But this one, no, I haven't played it.
My name is
But
Mayo.
I'm playing other stuff, so I'll answer that. I'm playing Need for Speed Unbound. I'm reviewing that now, so that's pretty good so far. Pretty good. There's still more I want to see. I've been playing online a little bit with it. They bring back the Burnout Paradise feel, where you got the nitro boost and you go to the little gas stations and paint shops and all that stuff, to fix cars. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm working on that one. Just finished Halo Infinite, the campaign. Buddy of mine, that's trash. One. Yeah, that was so bad. That one was so bad. Outriders.
Wait, who's this?
Yo.
Uh-oh.
I'm making a guest appearance on my own podcast.
Yo, man,
Logitech.
you blown out.
Am I?
You got that.
You know what's
power.
funny? The fuck? Oh, there
You
it
sound like
is.
the Metatron, yo.
Yeah, he's like you're.
What about now?
Oh.
What's up? Yeah, the Logitech. What's going on, people? I showed up. I'm a special guest tonight.
Yeah, we got our special guest, Tony Polanco, and then we'll transition the show to Tony at the end. That's that.
What are we talking about? Video games?
Yeah, we're just talking
we
about
just-
what
What
you're
we're
playing.
It's over.
Yeah.
Adam's telling us about how much trash Halo Infinite is.
Finished the campaign last night.
It's still trash.
Well, it was not that it's not broken. It's just once you get through it, you realize, wait a minute, it's an open world, but there's nothing in the open world. Each location looks exactly like the other base, to the point like, they didn't add anything. I mean, put something, put like barracks or some poop on the
Gotta
floor,
have
bathroom.
something.
Gotta have something different to change it up. And then the whole end boss system is the old school way of where they just throw every enemy type and from room to room to room that you encounter throughout the game. It's boring, no surprises. I was like, this is garbage. As soon
the
as
flood?
credits rolled, I deleted that
The
shit.
flood, with the flood, they came back.
Was that Halo 2, right? The flood.
Yeah,
That's most of the Halos.
They throw in some of that shit right at the end too, as a curveball.
Yeah, where Halo is always like you wait for that moment, like where they come, oh, here's the fucking
There's a
flood. Here we
flood.
go.
But Tony, so I was telling them before that when I was there, so when the Chivo popped, it gave me a diamond, which is equivalent to a PlayStation Rare.
I heard about those.
And it said like 8.9% of the players that played the game actually completed it to that level. So that means that under 10% of the people that played this game even bothered to go through the campaign.
I'm
So-
curious to know what the like if you play Call of Duty, would you get the same kind of stat?
Yes, anytime you get it'll tell you.
Yeah, because it's
When it
multiplayer,
drops.
you know.
Yeah. Well, no, well, not the multiplayer. The multiplayer they don't really have Chivos tied to that, like Warzone.
No, I'm saying for like the completion rate for like multiplayer games. I'm guessing it's like pretty low, right? Like the
Completion.
campaign.
What do you mean? Oh, the campaign.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, no. Well, for the Halo Infinite, but the campaign
Yeah.
for the Call of Duty, that one, yeah, that's a common. Actually,
Yeah.
that one is not rare.
Adam,
So, what?
I have been seen some chatter that the Call of Duty isn't all that this year.
No, it's not. The campaign, it's not. It's not. Well, that was the thing.
Carlos,
That was
I
the thing
thought
that
this was it. That this
No,
is
no, no,
different
no,
this
no,
year.
This is supposed to be different.
No,
Every year, every year.
Wait. What the Call of Duty is, that's why I've seen the multiplayer, the third person, all that. That is awesome. The DMZ, that is awesome. Been playing that. It's the campaign. The campaign was lackluster. The campaign just threw a lot of stuff that we've already seen, and it didn't really feel fresh, and it didn't have a good flow, and lack of checkpoints. Lack of checkpoints. One mission, it's like pretty long. They're pretty lengthy, most of them. And I'm like halfway through, something happens, I die. All right, you're gonna put me at the last checkpoint. No damn checkpoint. Restart the whole shit over. I'm like, what is this?
Oh,
It wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. So that's why I spent most of my time. Multiplayer is big deal. That third person mode, people loving
Different. It's
it.
different.
We have a
It's-
new mode coming. We have raids coming. I think it's dropping tomorrow or next week. It's a 3-person group, and you go and you can do co-op together. So if anybody wants to jump on, you jump on. 3 people go do these missions, which they call raid. Don't know if it's like a raid type of what we know, like Destiny and all that type of stuff, but they're putting it in there, and that's gonna be a free download. That, and we got some new maps and stuff like that coming. That is different. That is different. So yeah, playing more of that. Went back to Outriders with a buddy. We're trying to finish Outriders as well. And
That booty game.
that booty game, it's all right. It's nothing to write home about. Yeah, it's that booty game. Of course, keep playing my FIFA World Cup. Got to play my footy ball, and then as I mentioned, I'm reviewing the Need for Speed. That's a fun one. And then once
The cell shaded one.
yeah, the cell shaded one, pretty cool, because it feels like Burnout. They took the Burnout Paradise, where you have to dodge and stuff to build the boost meter, where you have to go and drive through the gas stations and paint shops and stuff, the car and all that stuff, and it has that vibe to it. And so it's cool. I'm enjoying it. And the open world part is pretty cool. Do whatever you want in there. And then once this is all said and done in the show, I'm going to play a Callisto Protocol.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
yeah. I mean, wait. What time is it now?
It's still locked. It's still locked.
Oh no, it's like 12:01 now. It should be good.
No, it's not locked. You're
Not
right.
for him.
It's booting up.
It's like 11 for him.
No.
Yeah, Unreal. No, it just booted up. It's
Oh,
booted up.
oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was actually a comment, like a topic we had earlier, because apparently the reviews are only coming out at 9 a.m. at West time
Yeah.
for some reason, even though the game is out now. Like, it's literally out now, and it's going to be out until when that thing comes out.
That's worrisome.
Yeah, it could be bad.
So that's usually a sign
Yes.
that the developer's not confident.
The at least part of that same topic from earlier was the fact that the thought is, and this is from early stuff that some people released, that the game is actually is pretty difficult, and that might be one of the reasons why they're keeping back a lot of the reviews.
They don't have game journalist difficulty.
They possibly don't have a game journalist difficulty, and there might only just be one difficulty.
Or they were
Oh,
concerned.
shit.
I mean, if we want to flip side it, maybe they're just concerned, since it's heavily focused on a story, that people are going to spoil the shit. And if you spoil it, then nobody wants to play it.
I mean, as
Actually, I heard some asshole already streamed the entire game on Twitch today. The whole game.
Didn't know that
So
one.
there you go. There you go. Break embargoes. Let's go.
Yeah, right. So who knows? So we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, because they were, from what I understand, very tight with the reviews they gave out. They didn't give out a lot of reviews. I guess they gave a review to the wrong person, because motherfucker streamed the whole thing. You know,
Shit.
again, I hate that stuff because guys like me and Adam, we play by the rules.
Yeah,
And
you
these
gotta follow the
dickheads,
rules.
yeah, so come
They
on,
ruin
man.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ruin it.
So
Well, when he streamed it, I guess he streamed on a burner account, right? You can't put it
I
on
don't know.
his own. But then what's the point?
I wouldn't be
You can't
surprised
get
if he
him
did it
to
on
do
his own to get that fucking clout. 'Cause that's what it's
Hmm.
all about now. These fucking idiots, you know,
yeah.
pisses me off.
Let's see. Let's go to Carlos. Are you playing anything?
Am I?
Oh,
Yo,
wait a minute.
Yo, Carlos,
Oh.
tell him.
Oh,
Man, I went from casual gamer to platinum gamer. I just got my 3rd platinum of the year.
Yeah,
I told the guys earlier. Yeah, right before the show
I saw that
started.
tweet, Carlos.
Yo, man, you gotta have something. Yeah, I got the platinum for Horizon. It's been a long time coming. I beat the game when it came out, and I just, it ran into an Elden wall, and and it was placed on hold for most of the year until after I got the platinum for God of War. I'm like,
Get the
hey,
itch.
I'm like, hey, Horizon, I got to give it some love since Sony rarely talks about it.
Okay.
So have to hopefully I was like maybe 15 hours away or something like that from getting the platinum, or 15 hours of work and labor, but I got it. And yeah, yo, man, I will say Horizon Forbidden West is probably the most beautiful game out right now.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That
it's
game
fucking,
is fucking gorgeous.
Yo, Carlos, I'm gonna say something controversial.
Oh.
It's better looking than God of War Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, that is for damn sure. I mean, God of War looks cool.
Yeah.
But the God of War environment is just mediocre. The character detail in God of War is what shines.
Yeah, the character. You're right about the environment and character design's dope, but like Horizon, everything looks fucking good. You know,
the foliage,
like you just stop.
the fucking sun,
so
the
good.
fucking sun when it glimmers.
Excuse me.
Oh, golden
man.
hour.
Golden
Yeah,
hour.
that game, like I know it doesn't. It got overshadowed by another game, but that game is fucking dope. So that's good. By the way, Carlos, I have a possible announcement to make.
Oh.
We may see an instance where you get a platinum minigame and I don't.
Wait,
shit.
hold on. Is you?
Hold on.
Whoa.
Because I was going through God of War and I'm like, I don't want to go through all this shit. With the fucking fights and shit. Like I'm going through the Vikings, right? And it's like they're double teaming me now. I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with this shit, you know.
Oh damn.
Well, Carlos, I think you may do it, man. Like, I don't want to deal with this shit.
Welcome to my world, Tony.
Yeah.
You've broke Tony. Are you laying down the championship?
Maybe. The only caveat is because I did this with the first God of War. God of War, the first one, I also stopped because I was like, I don't want to deal with this bullshit. Then my nephew came over and he killed all the Valkyries and did all the trials. So if he does that shit again, then we're good. Because I'm not dealing with that bullshit. I hate those combat challenges in games. They're like, this is dumb. I don't want to do this, you know?
The Berserkers?
Yeah, the Berserkers.
Okay.
What's up?
Can I use that opportunity as like a segue to maybe talk a little bit about the combat in God of War?
If you want.
Well, I mean, with you, I want to hear what do you think about the combat?
What happened? What I think about the combat is the same as the last game. That's what I think about it.
Okay, I mean, do you think it's like frustrating or balanced or like?
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah, I don't really have strong feelings one way or another. It's there, you know. Actually, just like this is going to be controversial too. Just like in most games, the combat is there. You know, it's in the way of the stuff I actually want to get to. You know.
So it's not exactly fun, but it's there.
It's there, you know. But the thing is, I believe that about most games. I actually find the combat in most games just meh. There's very few games where I find the combat exciting. You know, I'm like, you know, it's just there. It's kind of just like a stopgap to get, between the stuff I really want to do. You know, the story and the exploration and the puzzles. That's the shit I want to do. Like combat, yeah, it's just there. It's good, whatever. I think the last time I played a game where the combat was like, oh shit. The first Infamous and Vanquish. I was like, oh shit, those games, they play better when you play them on hard. You know, that's when the combat really comes to life. But yeah, most games, you know, it's there, you know.
The last time I got that type of feeling, and it wasn't even that the combat was exemplary. It's just, and maybe Manny agrees, and Tony probably agrees. It's like Near Automata. Whenever you switch the genres, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because the thing is, most of those hack and slash games, to me, they all control the same. I do the same combo in every game, and it works. Light attack, hard attack, dodge. That's it. That's all I do. I don't do anything else, and it works in every game.
I'm surprised you felt that working in that game, because like I did not feel quite that way. I'll wait my turn and get into it, but like I didn't get that impression with this one.
Yeah, no, I did it. I literally played this God of War exactly the same as I played the last God of War. You do a couple light attacks, a couple hard attacks. You dodge when appropriate. You parry when you need to, and that's it. You know, nothing really special. But the combat in this game is exactly as the last one to me, so I can't really complain. You know. I guess my only complaint is I don't like the attack buttons being on the top. But you have to play that way, because otherwise you can't control the fucking camera, you know? Yep. So yeah, you know, whatever. It's there. It exists, you know?
Were you playing anything else besides Horizon,
Carlos?
Yeah, I get. That's it. I mean, God of War, I got the plan on that, but I think we talked about that one last show. So yeah, other than that, just Horizon Forbidden West. You know, doing a couple of things, clearing out all the areas in the map that I didn't get to, because that map is pretty freaking huge.
Yeah.
But the way Tony feels about the God of War combat is the way that I felt about the Horizon Forbidden West combat. I felt like that one sort of wasn't as fluid as, you know, something like God of War is.
Yeah, I agree with that. A little bit clunkier, you know. It was also like there's some parts where like, yo, this is too brutal. Like, what happened? You know. I felt God of War's like difficulty was a good curve. Horizon only just fuck you up just cause, you know, like for no reason. You'll fight one enemy, this guy's fine, and then you you get fucked up. Like, wait, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
I felt there was better balance in the first game. I think the first Horizon had better combat balance than the second one. Second one was a little off, you know.
It seemed
but
like
those graphics, man.
It seems, at least from me seeing you play it, it always seemed like she had a lot more jumping attacks, and she sort of did these weird sort of.
Yeah, she has more of those now.
Guess you gotta get fancy. All right.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it.
So, what were you playing, Brett? Since you were talking about God of War,
I just finished God of War, actually.
Oh shit!
Oh,
be careful,
boy.
Not gonna spoil anything. I will say, you know, it's one of those games I have a lot of criticisms about, but I think it's because I like the game as much as I do. I gotta say, like, story, the way that they present it, like, all absolutely fantastic. I'm still of the belief that it feels like between the two, it makes a good 3-act story. So I feel it's a little like The Hobbit in terms of like breaking it up over 2 games feels a little weird. I kind of wish you would have gone 1 or 3 with it. I could have seen you going 3 with it. You know, and like really delving into more of the Pantheon, because I felt like in pacing wise throughout the whole series, like it kind of stretches out the first part, then compacts the latter parts when, you know, hell breaks loose and all that kind of stuff, which is inevitable with any God of War game. I also have criticisms about the combat, but again, this is all almost like uncanny valley shit. You know, the game is so good that it really just kind of highlights the few places where it's not. And like, maybe I'm spoiled by playing Souls games and such, but I noticed some discrepancies and slightly poor balance of the combat. You know, like the first 3 times you do this specific attack on a guy or combo on a guy, it stuns him. But the next time you do it, he gets hyper armor because you're only supposed to be able to knock him back and stun him 3 times before he then goes into his rotation of things. And fuck you if you want to change that. Also, a lot of like mechanics dependent on certain features that, you know, it doesn't give you a lot of room to play in different ways, right? Like I never use a shield in Souls games or in most games in general. I tend to be, you know, focus more on timing and space and dodging and that kind of thing. And there's points in this game where it straight up says, no, you can't do that. And because, you know, really some guys, if you get stunned on the wrong move, they will stun lock you and combo you to death before you can, you know, get a response. So there are times where it's really forcing you to, you know, use your shield, use your runic arrow, use your companion. Like, I don't really care about using Atreus in battle. I'll be honest, I don't. I just want a God of War face roll, whatever the fuck is in front of me. So, you know, when they're telling you, the companions are literally yelling at you to use the arrow and saying things like, why bring a shield if you're not going to use it? I'm like, I didn't want to bring a shield. It just kind of happened.
The shield was already attached to my arm. I did not have choice for this.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like, when you do it the way that you're supposed to, the game really does sing. It is awesome. You know, when guys are coming at you and slam it down, you're doing parry, dodge, shield block, combo, parry, block, shield dodge. It is honestly really fun and kind of cathartic. But the problem with that is playing it that way, to me, kind of distills God of War down to what I think has always been a little bit of its issue, where all the best stuff is quick time stuff. And when you play the fighting that way, you're really just being reactive, right? Like, you're not fighting as much as you're reacting. Oh, there's a yellow circle. Oh, there's a red circle. Oh, there's a blue circle. Now I attack. You're really kind of reacting to command prompts. And so it feels fun in the way like a Dragon's Lair game kind of has fun, but like there's a slight disconnect.
It was like the QT. That was
that's what I'm saying. Like it almost turns all combat into a quick time event, because, you know, you have to press parry when the yellow circle comes up. Sometimes you can dodge, but sometimes it's a big sweeping arc that you have to parry. And there, you know, when the blue circle comes up, you have to shield bash them. When the red circle comes up, you have to dodge it. So it does kind of fall into being reactive towards the colored prompt that pops up, which is not really different than quickly pressing the button prompt that pops up. But despite all that, I still found it really fun. I feel that possibly they could have balanced combat a little bit more to allow for some expanded combat range, even down to, like, there are some times when you definitely have to use certain weapons, not even like the ice or the fire element on it, but, you know, a certain move set that you're supposed to be using or things like that. I even found one where I think I was fighting I was fighting a guy that you fight, pink-eyed son of a bitch.
You just say pink-eyed son of a bitch. That's fine. Yeah.
So when you're fighting him, he even talks about, he throws out a comment about you punching him, and it kind of cued into my brain. I was like, maybe I was supposed to take down this fight without any weapons. And so I just put my weapon away and just started bare knuckle boxing this guy down, and instantly everything became 10 times smoother. And I was like, okay, because on the finale of the 3-hit combo, you kick him back about 12 feet, which gets him out of your face and allows you to put a little breathing room and then charge back in, which changes the pace and flow of combat completely, which immediately, made it almost too easy. And there was a lot of...
By the way, that's interesting, because I use the specific weapon for him. You know what I'm talking about. And that's the only thing that worked, you know?
You know, for the first phase, yes. But for this...
No, I'm not spoiling nothing, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. For the first phase, yes. The second phase, I switched over and
Adam. Yeah.
Yo, man, you quit out, yo. Yo, man, you quit out.
Yeah.
You hard.
I didn't realize using your fit, because I was like, okay, the story's telling me to use his weapon, so I'm gonna use his weapon, and it worked out very, very well. You know.
Yeah, he couldn't stand it. He had to get out.
Yeah,
but he's not even gonna play God of War. Why is Adam even beefing?
I don't know.
No, he is. He's just gonna play that.
Oh no, he's playing. He wants to
spoiling nothing.
Oh no, I know why he quit out. Callisto Protocol.
Oh yeah.
He just got it working.
Oh okay.
So y'all out there in TV land.
He just bailed. Deuces.
Hey, I got a review code too, but I'm still here. Just saying.
Oh
You
shit!
know.
But
And I came here after the concert. Your boy. You
yeah,
know.
boy. So, Brian, you're officially the last one. What have you been playing anything, or have you just been sort of like,
Oh yeah, I've been playing something. I've been playing what I think is a much better open world game than Saints Row, and this is going.
That's not really saying much.
Well, it's going to say much given what title this is, because it's very surprising. It's a little unknown game called Sleeping Dogs.
Oh,
oh
wow,
wow,
you
whoa,
went
whoa,
back. Oh,
whoa.
wow.
Told you. Yeah. Again, thanks to the Steam Deck, just backlog, just like, hey, just pick it up. And I played it after like 1 hour. I was like, this game is so much better than Saints Row on so many different levels. Like, it looks better, it plays better. I mean, you have combat, you have driving, you have vehicle combat, you have gunplay. It's like, how does one game have so much stuff yet Saints Row comes out like 2 gens after and has like barely a third of this? It's just boggles my mind, And yeah, it's a great time. I loved every second of it. I'm really annoyed I didn't play it when it came out because yeah, it is that game.
This is like PS3 era that game came out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs, yeah, that's long ass time ago.
Yeah, so yeah, just been playing that. Played it from start to end. Really good. Yeah, and that's mostly it. I am looking to play either Evil West or Gungrave, depending on how I feel. But yeah,
I saw Gungrave at PAX West, but I didn't get a chance to play it. I kind of, the line sort of got to me. I'm like, I ain't wait no line.
it's just like dumb fun. So I need like a dumb fun game. Hence, Evil West or that one. Just dumb fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking. I mean, Evil West is so old school. It even has an old school price, which is $50.
Oh, wow.
Remember when games
By the
cost
way,
that much?
I do want to break news.
Oh,
Apparently we were incorrect in our mentioning that the embargo for Callisto Protocol was tomorrow.
9 p.m. tonight. It's tonight, right?
Oh,
Or was last night, I should say. Now it was 9 p.m.
oh, okay. I thought we said 9 a.m.
I thought it was,
Yeah,
we said 9 a.m.
Yeah. Because I did get the, it's like agree to the embargo and all that.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
actually didn't get my code until today, so I'll be playing it over the weekend. That's what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, it's 9 p.m., which is a very weird time, regardless.
It's only like a few hours before it actually goes live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
review Metacritic says 74.
Okay.
It's 73 now.
Oh shit! Oh damn.
Maybe everybody's like, man, it's too hard.
Yeah, I'm wondering if hopefully it's not anything game breaking or anything like that. But yeah, the reviews are out. I thought they were gonna be tomorrow for some. That's why I was like, that sounds kind of weird.
At least from what I read, it was say AM, but you know what, we could be wrong. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Thanks for the check, though.
Yo,
But yeah.
man, gotta have some.
Yeah, but yeah, I just been playing the God Wars. But I'm gonna switch over to the Callisto Protocol, play that over the weekend, get a review for you guys by next week. So that'll be fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, if it's Dead Space length, which I believe it is, I could knock that out in a weekend.
Like 20 hours, you say?
No, it's Dead Space is 10 hours.
10 hours, yeah. Well, that's the same length as Evil West.
Yes.
Or so. Well, yeah, I think that's it. We did all of our stuff, and Tony with his impromptu, jumping back into the thing. I'm actually going to throw it to you because you know the outro better than I do. So.
Yes, yeah. Good stuff. Do we have anything to plug?
Officially, we don't have anything to plug. I mean, Adam jumped away, and I don't know if they're doing any more Walking Dead at this point in time.
I Am Negan is in hiatus at the moment since we're still waiting on Fear the Walking Dead to come out.
But we do have something next week, and this is the beginning of the end of the year, of podcasts. So
yeah, we got the Game Awards on Thursday. What is that? 8 p.m. I believe Eastern. 3-hour show. You know how that goes. So get ready for that. Then after that will be the year-end special where we go over the biggest gaming news topics of the year, go over our favorite games and what we're anticipating next year. And also, we're going to end the year off with the AMA special on Throw Down Your Questions. So good times are coming.
Good times.
Good
Yeah.
time.
All right, so we got all the plugs and stuff. Yeah, Callisto Protocol review for me. And I think that'll be it for gaming. And then after that, I can like do my usual Twitter list of my favorite games of the year. Usually I do 10. Last year I did 5. I think this year I may do 3. It's just there hasn't really been that many games I cared for this year, you know. So it's probably going to be actually no, maybe 4, right? Because I like God of War. By the way, I think God of War's game of the year, and I think I'm officially going to say that now because I did that epilogue, Carlos. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is next level shit. So God of War, Elden Ring, obviously. And then I'll see what's number 3. It could be Callisto Protocol. It could be Horizon. Probably going to be Horizon, though, because I doubt Callisto Protocol is going to look as good as that fucking game, you know?
So, Tony, I will
but you never
mention
know.
to you,
Yeah.
I will mention there is an epilogue, and then there is something that you need to see in the post game.
Does it involve a prison?
Yes.
Because I was like, what? We'll talk
so
about that afterward, if
we'll
you know
talk
what I'm
about
talking
that.
about. Yeah, because I got
You gotta be
questions.
careful with Brett, though.
Yeah, I haven't done that stuff. So
Yeah, Brett,
I'm
do
happy
some
for
of the
you guys to talk
post game
about that.
stuff. Yeah, because there's some things. Yeah. So yeah, we're done here, man. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations, the rumors are always popping, and where we get our show notes from. So thank you guys for that, providing us with all the news. It's the easiest job. I literally just go through what you guys have been posting and select the best stuff. So it makes our life a lot easier, you know. So thank you for that.
Thanks again, guys.
Yeah, you can find us on every podcast app on the planet. Throwdown Show. That's 2 words. Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host. Fuck it. Actually, Emilio was your host, and I was your semi-host. Yeah. Anyway, see, it screwed up the script for me. Anyway, I was Tony Polanco, and tonight you were joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
The host with the most. Carlos Romero.
VGA's next week. Let's see if my Switch prediction comes true.
Uh-oh. What's the prediction again?
Switch Pro.
I don't think that's going to happen.
They're not going to do that on their show.
Nah, that's not going to happen.
You never know.
We'll see. Final Fantasy 16. I think you're going to do something. I think they said the producer's going to be there. So please give me something to look forward to in 2023. Because right now I'm like,
yo, man, I'm gonna tell you this: Kojima's out in L.A. right now.
I saw him hugging Guillermo
del Toro. Yeah, so
something's going on.
The right Guillermo, not the other one.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Brett Murdoch.
Deuces, people.
And Brian Manjoma.
History repeats itself. Once again, the Germans have been sent back home.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm guessing
Alan's gone.
It's a World Cup. It's a World Cup stuff.
I thought it was a reference to Kanye West's insanity, but we're not going to talk about that. This guy's making Jesse Jackson look fucking reasonable, if you know what I'm talking about. A certain town, you know, Manny, remember that comment? Yeah. That comment is very family friendly compared to some of the shit Kanye's saying, but we'll talk about that off air, you know? Anyway, later, people.
Later, guys.
This is